Are you in the danger room?
Is that what the light carrier
You
on
in the
that
danger room? Come on now. It's like a dream. Everything moving fast, but you moving slow. Change the tempo, watch, we on time. Hey, now you know. Listen to the rhythm we giving them, we bringing it with passion.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the SMPCAST, episode 2 of season 2. Today we'll be talking about games, our favorite games, and just memories we've had while playing games. Today I'm joined with...
Zach.
And Corey.
And today we have a special guest with us.
Jerry Atkins.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it was so difficult for me to not do the Jerry voice when he said his name.
You ever doing it?
He went Bob. But yeah, this episode we're going to talk about games. Yeah, so I mean, who wants to start us off?
I think we should let the guest go first, right?
Oh,
All right, Jerry, talk to us. What's some of your favorite games, or what's some of the games you're playing right now?
So, I got a lot of them. Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably my favorite game right now, to be honest.
Why is it your
Mine too.
favorite? I need to start a timer.
Man, I don't know my favorite. Like of all time or just like recently?
Let's start with recently, and then we'll do of all time a little bit later in the episode.
You know, like recently it just been, like I said, Red Dead Redemption 2. Because like, man, it's a beautiful game, I'll tell you that. But, just
I
the
mean, graphically,
scenery,
it's superior to pretty much any game out there, I would argue.
That is
the
true.
horses and tuberculosis.
I mean, the realism, too, is pretty on point. I mean, it's to the point where some of the stuff, like fishing, can actually be slightly boring sometimes, because you can actually sit there quite a while waiting to catch a fish.
So, like, I haven't played it yet, but from what I've heard about it, like, it seems like a crazy good game.
Oh,
It's
yes.
very good.
Oh
game.
yeah, dude.
I got it today, actually. Played it all day. It's very good.
Corey, what's your favorite game that you're playing right now or recently?
Well, right now, like, the only two games that I play are Rocket League and Fortnite. Like, I don't play many games at all. Hopefully I'm going to be getting,
What's your favorite game you've played in the past year? Oh, well, yeah.
past year, way out easy. It's just a good game. Everything about it, like, it was different from anything I'd ever played before, and it was just, I don't know, it looked good too for it to be not some huge developer making
Oh,
it,
yeah.
you know? Like, it was a great game.
It was like, you know, it's not graphically, like, really amazing, but it is for what it is. Like,
I love the multiplayer.
it can be beautiful, but it doesn't look the best, but it can still be beautiful. It's
just appealing. It's just satisfying to play.
They did a really good job with the colors, I guess.
They really did. Like, the story too, like, one of the best stories I've ever witnessed.
And the co-op experience was one of my favorite things, because
me
like,
and you played it together.
yeah, and that was really unique, because I don't know many games that do that.
Oh, no.
And then just some of the ways they tied that two-player part into the story and some of the things you had to do, it was just really, really
Like,
clever.
all of it together, and then the end of it was
Well, how long
I
did
had
me
no
and you
clue.
sit there, like, not saying anything after we beat it?
at least 30 minutes after we finished it. We didn't say a word.
I think we sat there forever, and then the first thing I said after that last cutscene rolled was, well...
I've actually not played it, but I've seen some gameplay of it. It looks pretty good.
What YouTubers uploaded it? I try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, too. That probably should have been said in the beginning.
Yeah, but have you seen
Probably,
the
spoilers will be...
Well, Skeezy, what's your favorite game that you're playing right now, or in the past
My
year?
favorite game right now. Well, my favorite game right now is Red Dead 2, obviously. Just like you
Legit.
said, it's a beautiful game. It's just a good. I like it. This is a good game. Past a year, I don't even know, bro. I mean, it was Fortnite, and I quit playing Fortnite. So,
Yeah, I
Same
probably
here.
should have added that. Like, the way out was good, but I've played Fortnite more than any other game I've recently.
Well, see, the
It's
thing
just, I
about a
don't- I
way
don't
out,
play-
though. The thing about a way out, though,
Well,
is
it would
it's
be a
only
way out,
40
probably. I
hours
just
of
don't play
gameplay.
it.
It's only 40 hours of gameplay. And Jerry's dying again. But it's only 40 hours of gameplay. Or no, 20 hours. I don't remember. It's 20 hours of gameplay because it costed $40. It was $2 per hour. I remember now. But it was really good. But it like, you know, it doesn't have an online. It doesn't really have a whole lot of reasons to come back because the story is really good the first time through and maybe even the second time through. But there's just not a whole lot of variation because I could see if it was something like, if something you did really, really early on in the story affected the main end, but really the only thing that affects the main end is, you know, who wins that. And without spoiling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
because-
okay, Jerry?
Yeah, but
Jerry's hot right now.
We're 4 minutes
it
in,
was such a good-
and Jerry has already died 3 times.
Just for no reason, bro.
no, it's
I don't know why it is.
it's an inside joke.
Well, my favorite game the past year or so, probably it'd be really hard to pick between A Way Out or Red Dead Redemption 2. Because A Way Out story is really, really good, but I do think Red Dead's story so far has topped it. Which I still haven't. I still haven't finished. I still haven't finished John's epilogue yet, but like I'm
I
sure it's
just
gonna
got
be
it
good.
today. Let me just clarify. I just got Red Dead Redemption 2 today, and I can already say it's probably one of my favorite games. You know.
Yeah, but like I said, you know, I love A Way Out too. Like it would be really, really hard to pick, but I gotta say Red Dead because it's got more replay value to it.
You know, I have to, like, obviously I don't know, you know, how it feels to play the game yet, but like,
Oh, it's so emotional.
Not the
Like
other way around.
it's so
yeah,
good.
it was good. Like, I couldn't see myself replaying it like over and over and over.
I need to
Just to
get
be
it.
fair, I couldn't do that with mini games. But
But Red Dead's story is so diverse, and there's so many different outcomes and ways it can go and trees it can follow.
Mhm.
No two playthroughs are the same.
see, I think that's what differentiates just regular games and like top tier, top quality games.
But I mean, you know, Rockstar Games and you know Red Dead Redemption 2, that was a big budget game, and for A Way Out to be what it is, because who makes A Way Out? EA. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say for them to not have that big of a budget, but it's
I
EA.
mean, the studio wasn't like
What studio
it
made
wasn't
it? Like
it was
what?
some
It's
huge
EA.
studio.
What studio made it? Hazelight.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's But I mean, you know, it didn't have that big of a budget, but it had an amazing story, and that really, really makes up for it.
And that just shows that you don't have to have some like crazy huge budget to make something that changes people. You know.
But now, A Way Out online would be awesome.
I don't know.
But I
think
don't know
the
what
way
you
up
could
for those
do.
games-
It would be
Oh,
like an older GTA game, is what it'd feel like. That doesn't have to
The
be.
Way Out's one of those games that's like it cemented itself as a great game, like just with a single player. Not
Yeah.
single player, but like a story mode.
See, Red Dead could do that, but you know, Red Dead Online beta started today or yesterday because it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, we're back on our regular schedule of recording these at like 3 in the morning.
We're a little bit early today, but
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock or 1:20. We're
but you'll see this video like a day or two later than we recorded.
yeah. You'll see this Thursday. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because we filmed the nostalgia video earlier,
A couple hours
a
ago.
couple hours ago. Yeah.
But it feels good to be able to be
It's
ahead
my,
of time.
my second episode.
Yeah. So what can we do now? What's favorite game of the
Of all
past
time.
year. Favorite game of all time? We'll start with Jerry
That's
again.
too hard. That's too hard for me.
What's your favorite game of all time, Jerry?
Nah, I know this one.
God bless.
GTA 5.
Good try.
Yeah, I'll have to say Grand Theft Auto 5 because the multiplayer on that sucker, I'll tell you.
Dude.
Yeah, the
Beautiful.
GTA 5 online was so good, but like, now playing a newer game, which for a game made in, what year was it made?
2013.
2013?
2013.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Hard to
way ahead
believe.
of its time, but now that stuff has gotten better and quality's increased and FPS has increased, going back and playing it, it's not as good as it used to be. But at the time, it was so like cutting edge. It was.
It was the Red Dead 2 of the time. Like, it was something we hadn't
Yep.
seen yet. But graphic-wise, it was completely new.
But
like,
GTA's big downfall was, like you said earlier, them not caring, because like
yeah, they stopped.
they just started like throwing stuff into the game to try to get people to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything for people to buy shark cards, that's all people were worried about. It's all Rockstar was worried about, rather.
Yeah, that's why I'm really happy that Red Dead 2 doesn't have microtransactions.
Yeah, but
Thing is,
We'll get into that later. We'll get into that later in the episode.
I feel like add stupid stuff. Like, eventually that'll be the damn Red Dead 2. Like, that is my prediction.
back
Let's
in
hope not.
2013, Grand Theft Auto 5 was like the biggest game ever. I remember,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it
Games
broke
are
so many
getting stuff.
records.
dude, I'm telling you,
I mean,
I
it's a good game, bro. I mean, it is a good game.
like, I had it on Xbox 360, and playing it right now, the graphics are horrible. Like, I got a PlayStation 3 in there, played it the other day, horrible. You think, on the PlayStation 4, you think this is bad, you should see it on there. Like, I'm telling you,
Yeah, I have it on PlayStation 3.
when it first came out, I remember that was, oh my god, I played that every single day. And then
Yep.
I got a PlayStation 4, got it, awesome, dude, because it was next generation, because it was
It looks
awesome.
so much better.
It looked so much better. They added more stuff. It was like a brand new game, and then
Mhm.
playing on this and then playing on that, it was like garbage. But now, over years, it's been like 5 years or something like that.
Almost
They,
6.
like,
So,
the first few DLCs, I remember when the online first came out, everybody was talking about it, dude. Everybody. The thing is about Red Dead Redemption 2 online, everyone's gonna be talking about it. I'm telling you.
See, my
everyone
biggest
will.
fear about it is that GTA kind of appeals to more people because it's modern and it's city and you can get in and drive around
Yeah.
cars and stuff. And a lot of players, like, whenever I was younger, which I talked about in the nostalgia episode, I just like to get in and drive cars around. And I'm just worried that there's not going to be that same player base with Red Dead 2. Now, I'm
I
sure
think
there's
that's
going to be a
good
lot.
thing, though.
I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot, but I'm just worried that it
I
won't
think
be
it's
as
gonna
many as
less
GTA.
cancerous.
And the thing is, GTA or Red Dead Online is going to be more story based, and I don't know that a lot of players are going to go for that.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, just don't get it then, bro. It's simple as that.
Well, that's not what
I
we
mean-
want. We want people to get it because we want continued support with this game. We want this game to be long lived.
That is true, but I feel like people that play GTA 5 online for some reason wouldn't like Red Dead Online
And they
because
probably
it's not
won't.
it's not the modern city.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I think people it'll eventually.
It'll be something they'll adapt to, I'm sure.
I hope.
I like
Yeah.
it 10 times better.
Yeah,
I like it
yeah,
10
I
times
prefer
better.
it because
Like, I
there's no
prefer it.
chance of having flying cars with rockets and lasers.
That's
And,
ridiculous. I hate that.
yeah, Rockstar
Red Dead
is
2
doing
is-
that.
There's something bad about it. Like, us three, me, Zach, and Jerry we've definitely had our fair share of GTA memories and stuff.
oh yeah,
Oh,
I've
yeah,
got
so
over
weird, so
100
weird.
days in the online stuff. Now, I mean, how many hours is that? What? 2,400?
A lot.
That's
I got
2,400,
more.
right? Yeah, it's 2,400. That's almost 3,000 hours in GTA 5
It's
online.
insane.
I
That's
mean,
insane.
that's like
It's a fun
I
game
can
to
remember
goof
so
around
many
in.
summers like of school. Me and Jerry waking up early in the morning, getting on GTA, and not getting off until like 2 in the
6
morning.
o'clock in the morning.
Or yeah, 6 o'clock sometimes. But
And then going to bed at 2. Then you call and wake me up.
Stay up till
Be
6 and go to bed at 2.
I'd
yeah,
be like, hey, come on, let's get on. I'd be like, alright. And I'll throw some clothes or something like that. And go
throw
play
off
some
your
games.
clothes.
Throw
Oh yeah,
on.
that's
And, dude, times changed. And, like what I was talking about, like, the first DLCs, they was, like, pretty cool, you know, they was awesome. Like, Grand Theft Auto 5 started changing around when the first heist came around, because that's when you had vehicles with big old,
See,
turrets on
that was
and,
fine with me.
like, armored cars. Yeah, like, that was fine with me, but when they added the new heist, like,
Yep.
the jetpacks and all that stuff, like, it was too much.
It's too much to handle.
Because
it's just it gets annoying at that point.
I mean, the Oppressor, don't get me wrong, that thing was awesome, but the Mark II version, that thing, like, you can't do nothing, because once someone has it in lobby, you can't, you know, I mean, you could kill them, yeah, but they could just call it right back, and the rockets on that thing, whew, I'm telling you, son, it's just over and over and over, like, there's no waiting time, like, the Savage, there's no wait time. That was OP when it first came out. And then the other helicopters started getting OP. And the Savage fell down. And I hope to God Rockstar, like, thanks to make Red Dead Online a whole lot better. And don't add, like, flying horses or crap like that.
Okay, I
Yeah,
think
they'll look back at it and learn from their mistakes.
that's what having this online start out as a beta is about. It's not necessarily to just like bug test the game, which is it's also about that, but it's about to get feedback from players to see what they want in the game, what they don't.
Dude, if they add flying horses, I'm not gonna play.
Yeah. Well, whose turn was it? I think it was Corey's on favorite game of all time.
Of all time. That's tough. I played a lot of, like, Legend of Zelda games.
Oh yeah,
And
dude.
a lot of those are, like, my favorites. Like, I have a lot of those, but I think overall it'd probably be Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, that's
Like,
a good game.
easily. That's such
It's
a good
classic.
game, dude. I first played it whenever it came back on 3DS. Like a remake thingy. It's just such a good game, dude.
Majora's Mask was pretty good.
See,
Just
I haven't
think-
played it yet, but it has been re-released on 3DS too.
See, that's the
I thought
thing
about
is, Ocarina of Time, I've only played like an hour of it, and I never beat it.
So good, dude. Everything about it, like, there's a reason, like, it's got a 10 out of 10 on IGN and like all these other sites. Like, it earned it. It's a masterpiece, dude.
Didn't they come out with the Legend of Zelda game on the Switch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
It was one of the first games to
I
come
heard
out
it's
for the
really
Switch.
good.
It is. I've played it.
See, one of the only reasons I don't want to Switch is because Super Smash Brothers and The Legend of Zelda.
Super Mario Maker for me. I've always wanted to play it. for some
Pokemon Let's
reason.
Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee for me.
Yeah, I saw that at GameStop.
I have
My
it.
favorite Zelda game. Don't get me wrong. Guys might think, hey, this guy's stupid. Well, it was probably my first Zelda game I've ever played. It was on the DS, and it was called the
Spirit
Legend of
Tracks.
Zelda Spirit Tracks.
Yep.
And you
That's
know
good.
me, I love trains. And that thing,
You know me. I love
Like-
trains.
I woke up and I opened that
Jesus.
treasure one time, and that sucker popped out, and I put it in my DS, and I hopped in that train, and I abused the crap out of the train horn. I was sitting there, just sitting there, just flying down the track,
Poor
just sitting there
Thomas,
blowing
bro.
the horn. And because I love train horns, and that's like I don't know, it just tickled me to death when I just sit there and hold the horn down. But I'm telling you,
You know, we've
That was
gotten
good. Phantom Hourglass was good too, and so was Minish Cap. Minish
We've-
Cap was on like Game Boy Color. First game.
we've gotten pretty off track on episodes before, but I think this is the most derailed we've ever been.
I mean, we're on
No
the
pun
topic of games
intended.
still. You know me. I love trains.
You know, God, dude.
Okay, Skeezy, you.
I
What's
love
your
you, Jerry.
what's your favorite game of all time?
Oh. Well,
What's your favorite game of all time?
bro, this is gonna get some weird, like, questionable responses from
Spyro?
you guys, probably. Nope. Surprisingly, it's not Spyro. I do love Spyro.
Happy
This is gonna
Wheels.
be, like,
Ball
pretty-
simulator.
It's gonna be pretty out of the ordinary, but it has to be the Walking
Playing
Dead
with
game.
playing with lotion bottles and make them talk to each other.
Oh yeah, that's probably it. But it's the Walking Dead games, bro.
The Telltale series games.
Yes, God.
I never played them.
What, bro? You don't understand how, like,
Seasons 1
I've
and 2
played
have been
them
free on
since-
PlayStation.
I've
Really?
played them all. Ooh, episode 3, season 4, I believe. I don't know. I'm tired, but it ain't came out yet. God, I can't wait till it comes out. It's just so much emotional roller coasters in that game. Amazing. I have a Clementine action figure.
Well,
Yeah, I'm that type of person.
my favorite game of all
Just
No
time.
shame in that.
As much as, I don't want to be like bandwagon with this, and Red Dead just came out and all that. I don't know. It's really hard to decide because I love A Way Out, and I really, really thoroughly enjoyed Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and I really,
mix
really enjoyed Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. But I think it does have to go to Red Dead because Red Dead has kept
Of
me
all time.
captivated for much longer than any of those games ever have. Because, playing through the story of those Pokemon games, sometimes it gets kind of boring and bogged down and it seems really, really grindy. Well, there's not been a single point in Red Dead that I have felt like I was having to grind something out. It's very... you're always seeing the progress you're making by completing those missions, and
Yeah.
I just really, really enjoy that. I can't really sit there and play a game without having some kind of visual, cue of how far I am along. Because, Pokemon games, you kind of just, play them, and eventually you get to this mission that's like, oh, this is epic, this is the end. It's just this, you have a visual, you can... tell when the Pinkertons are on your tail and you're about to have to move camp again, and I gotta say it's probably got to go to Red Dead.
See,
It is a very good game.
I respect your opinion, for sure, but I don't know, something about me is I think that you have to play a game more than any other game. It has to affect you more than any other game you've ever played for it to
Red Dead, Corey, I dressed
haven't
like a
played it.
cowboy for 2 weeks.
Oh, I know. I've been told, but I don't know. I wouldn't be able to do that. I'd have to play it again for a while before I'm
Anybody that hasn't played the Walking Dead games, I recommend it. It's just like I said, I mean, is any of you guys a fan of question or choice-based games?
I can
I love
tolerate them. They're not my favorite.
I just love it. That's probably the
Solely
best
choice-based
game.
games, right? 100%. That's
I'm not a
the.
fan.
Well, the Walking Dead games is at 100%, but it's a majority of it is
Have you ever played the Batman games that are in that
From
same
Telltale?
format?
We're
Yeah.
at about the halfway mark right now.
See, I played them, but I'm just not a fan
Life
of
is
it.
Strange is a good game, I think. Oh, I
See, I
Life is
haven't
Strange.
played it yet either.
It's
I don't
good.
really have any plan to, but I've heard it's really good too.
But The
gonna go
Walking
knock it
Dead,
off.
dude. God, it's just so much happens. I can't even name it all. But it's just when it ends, I want to be a depressed person.
So it hasn't ended yet. Like the
No.
games.
No, this is the last season.
Oh.
So what was the other topic? Is that?
We can, you want to talk about
I thought it was like
how we feel about
games we've had the
microtransactions?
most memories with.
I actually, well, let's see what time we get to with this stuff. But what's the least favorite game you all have played?
Oh, the
Oh.
least favorite game.
Oh.
So what is?
I would put money on
So-
what Jerry's is, and I think it cost him $80.
And he didn't get his money back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a game. Destiny 1.
Oh, dude, I agree with you, bro. I didn't want to say it.
Well,
Yeah.
thing is,
I don't want this to do.
I played Grand Theft Auto 5 a lot with Zach.
Played
And,
2 hours of Destiny 1.
And then
Destiny 1 is a grindy game, and Jerry doesn't
Zach
like that.
and his brother, we was just sitting there playing. Hey, Ricky. But anyways.
Hey, Mikey.
Hey, Ricky. Hey, Peggy.
Hey, Peggy.
Mikey.
we was sitting there and Zach goes, "Come on, man, buy it." And then I was like, "Well, if I buy it, I'm gonna have to buy DLCs." And like they was having a sale because if you bought all the DLCs, what was it, like 120 or 100? I don't know. what
Yeah,
it
you
was.
saved like $50 or something by buying them all together whenever The Taken King had just came out.
But and I spent $80 on it, and as soon as I started playing it, like they didn't really play anymore because like I was a low level and they was all high and stuff like that, and like I couldn't.
See,
catch up to them as
here's the
fast.
thing about Destiny. You have to grind for about 10 hours to get to level 20 so that you can start doing the stuff like that me and Ricky was doing. And me and Ricky didn't really we don't get anything for going back and doing that stuff with Jerry.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that us being there can help him with, because they always, if you've got 2 really high level players in there, they make the stuff harder to kill. Well, then Jerry couldn't do anything and would still get the same amount of XP. So there was no point in us helping him, and Jerry didn't like that because we didn't play with him.
Which, I mean,
Yeah, that's understandable.
it's understandable. But then
And-
again, it's understandable on your part, too.
Another since I couldn't catch up as fast, I had no one to really play with except you guys. Like, you guys helped me through some missions, but I just going to the moon and then going back to the one home base, Robert Scott, I forgot what it's called, and then going back to the moon. Just quests and I just.
See, they fixed a
just
lot
not
of
your
that
style.
stuff. They fixed a lot of
Yeah,
that
was
stuff
it?
in Destiny 2. A lot of the issues, but see, that used to be my favorite game, and if we had made this podcast like 2 years ago, I would tell you that that's my favorite game. I just don't like Bungie anymore. They got too money
I don't
hungry.
like this, man. No
I
offense.
love Destiny 1. I would give
don't like this
anything
Halo.
if we could revert back to Destiny 1 Year 1. I loved it. That was my favorite game. And if Bungie hadn't got some money hungry, it would still be my favorite game today.
See, that's interesting.
Because the thing they did that ticked me off was the raid for Destiny 2. You bought the game for $60. And you had access to everything that was in the game. Well, the first DLC, they ran out of ideas, so they just took a bunch of the stuff that was already in the game, took it out, and said you can't do it without paying $20. So you were paying $20 for something you've already paid for. And it made me mad. Like, I had bought the season pass, so I didn't even have to pay the extra money. I already had it. I just didn't. It made me upset that they took something that's already in the game, made you pay for it again.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous.
It's dirty.
Honestly.
Yeah.
It really is.
And you can't do anything in the game without being able to do the raids and the nightfalls, because that's the stuff that gives you the good gear that levels you up.
Yep.
I miss Halo. That's what I miss.
And I think companies doing stuff like that, like,
Or ruining the gaming industry.
and that's why games have years prior are so much better than recent games.
Well, and that's why games like A Way Out are able to come in and do something amazing and impact a large group of
Because
people.
you don't have to buy parts of the story to play it. You buy the game.
Yeah, Bungie. Not to say names or anything, but
Rockstar. Well,
Corey, what's your least favorite game?
it's interesting because I don't really have a least favorite game, but like, if I had to choose one,
What's a game you sat down and played and couldn't stand to play?
well, recently that's been Grand Theft Auto 5.
I mean that you played for less than an hour, like overall.
But you never did like it.
You got it and you didn't like it.
I don't know. I don't play that many games, like different games. I can't really think of one.
Was there one that was
I used to play a lot of Madden games, but like with the most recent Madden that I got, I played it for a little bit and was like, you know what, this has been the same for the last 5 years. And like you said, with companies being cash grabbers, like Madden games, 2K games, FIFA games.
They're all made by EA, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all EA, I think.
2K games are better though.
Yeah, like they're all the same. Like I will never buy another one of them. So I guess, yeah, like Madden games or sports games in general would have to be my least favorite.
See, I could never get into sports games.
I couldn't either.
You know me, I'm not really a good, like, I'm in to win it, you know. I ain't one to lose.
You know him, he likes trains.
And, like, that's really why I've never really played sports, is because say that I lose, like, you know, I can't handle losing. Like, I have to win, you know. But that's, you know, not life. You know, life you have to lose, you know, to, you know, gain up to win finally. But I mean, it's just I don't know, just like some games, to be honest, not video games, but like actual games, are like rigged. Half of them, you know, because the one team will like pay the coaches extra, you know, and just. And I'm talking about real life there. But.
See, we get what you mean, but we're getting a little bit off topic.
Yeah. Skeezy, least favorite game?
Like it's just not your top. We get
Oh, dude, I want to get so much hate on this, bro. Like, so much hate. It was a game that I had a lot of friends enjoy. Well,
Call of
it's a
Duty.
game that is very... Nope. It is a game that is very loved by most people, but a game that I could just never get into, and I just was terrible at it. And I respect the people that like it, and that is Skyrim. Just couldn't do it, bro.
I liked Skyrim, hated Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, I'm speaking of Elder Scrolls. It's like, I hate it, bro.
I haven't played a lot of
couldn't play
Skyrim
it.
though, so I can't really say much.
I like Skyrim, but I've never beat it, so you know,
I just don't like the whole aspect of it. I put it in, pause, that sounded wrong, but I put it in the game, or the console, played it, probably 30 minutes, never played it ever again.
Dude,
I've got it. I got it recently, like maybe a year ago, and I've played it on and off. I enjoy it, but like, I see what you mean. Like, it's weird getting used to. Like, I don't know. There's something about it.
It's just not my game.
Yeah.
The open world is crazy, dude.
I just don't like games like that, I don't think. I'm just not
And the
good at
horse
it.
can climb a mountain, you know. I remember
Well,
that.
My least favorite game, and I'm probably gonna get some hate for this. And now I've played a lot of games that I haven't liked. But I don't think there's very many games on the face of this planet that I can't stand as much as, well, the entire Call of Duty franchise.
Oh yeah, I don't. Call of Duty's cancer, dude.
Like, I own like almost all of the Call of Duty games, but every single one of them is the same thing. Just like Every now and
They're
then
very
they'll
money
they'll
hungry.
either do
They're
something
very-
like, oh, you can jump more than once now, or they'll go back to like Vietnam or something, and you can't do anything anymore.
I
The
see what you
newer,
mean because the recent Call of Duties are awful. Like
Well, see,
the
that's the
last
thing.
good one was Call of Duty Ghosts, but like single players, I would argue that Call of Duty makes some of the best story games ever.
See, I don't think so because
Yeah, they do.
to me they always seem the same. The
See,
story
that's
always
something
follows
always-
the same.
Call of Duty, I always just played multiplayer. I had
Yeah.
a great time playing multiplayer back in the day. Other than that, not really. You know, the stories didn't really catch up.
See, to me, all the stories follow they're the same exact story, just different character models, different voice actors.
So
I mean,
what do you think the story is that they all follow, like the plot line, rather?
They all follow a really eerily similar plot line.
Yeah.
What plot line, though?
We could make an entire episode about this.
see, the older Call of Duties were my favorite, like the first Black
Yeah,
Ops.
I
and the
love the
second
first
one.
Black Ops. I didn't play it that much, but I loved it.
I don't understand the hype of Black Ops 2, and it irritates me that it's just like
I love Black Ops.
worshipped by everybody.
Probably my favorite one. One of them.
I really dislike Black Ops
just-
3.
Yeah, I
It's
just
just something I could never.
I hated
really
Infinite
get
Warfare.
into.
I liked the Modern Warfare remaster though.
I didn't like it as much as I liked the
I
original.
loved
Modern
Advanced Warfare. Hated Ghosts. I loved World War
I
II.
liked, surprisingly, this. I don't think anybody will agree, but the one that sticks out to me for some odd reason is the Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I don't know why.
Oh, that was probably the best one of the series. It's completely understandable why you'd like it.
It's just, yeah, it's
Like,
just
which
really
one?
good.
It's so good. The first
Call
Modern
of
Warfare.
Duty.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, so we've got on that topic. We do a quick time check. We're 35 minutes in. Let's take a look at some of the games on the E3 list, the E3 awards list.
No, we could say like if we agree or disagree or whatnot.
Well, we're going to look at the nominees and we'll just say who you think should be on there or who shouldn't or
Right.
So for Game of the Year, we've got Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, or Red Dead Redemption 2. I have played I have played 3 of those games. Now I only own one of them. And that's Red
I
Dead.
own 2 of those. I
And-
own the Spider-Man and I own Red Dead 2.
I don't think Assassin's Creed's going to get it because they pump
I'm
out a
not
game every
Assassin's
year.
Creed fan.
They pump out a game every year.
I just
I
never was
haven't
into
played
Assassin's Creed.
Celeste. God of War, I have watched a lot of stuff about, and it was hyped, and they did spend a lot of time on it. But it's not been as big of a hit, I don't think, as Red Dead Redemption 2 has been. I mean, that's the same thing with Spider-Man.
I love the Spider-Man game, dude.
Now, Monster Hunter World, it's made by Capcom. I've played it. It's really, really good, but it doesn't have a big player base. So I really do think Red Dead 2 is going to get Game of the Year.
Yeah, that's true. I do agree. But
I think its
I do
only
like the
contender.
Spider-Man game.
I think its only contender on that list is probably God of War.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I think, like, this ain't about this topic, but it's about the last topic we was talking about, but it's real quick. I really think it would be really awesome if, like, they would remaster Call of Duty World at War. Like, I love that game, on the
I agree.
Xbox 360, but, like, it just, after a while, like, so many hackers started getting on it, and they just went on
It's
with war
awful,
games.
dude. You can't play it though.
And it just, I remember, it was crazy. Like, you couldn't even log in their thing because no one would play. And if you find someone, you see people flying around, you just drop dead.
God mode and everything.
Yeah, but I would love to see that as a remastered.
Okay.
Now, on the topic of Game of the Year, like, I understand Red Dead's like, from what I've heard, a great game. But I think in order to win, to even be a nominee for Game of the Year, the game should have been out prior to that year so people can fully take it in and experience everything it's got to offer. Like Red Dead shouldn't be up for Game of the Year till next year because it came out in late October.
I can see
And
that.
that leaves 2 months to play it, and online's not even out yet as per recording. You know, like, that's not enough time to take it in and enjoy everything it has to offer. So, like, if I had to pick something, I would not be able to pick a game from that list to win Game of the Year. Not just because I haven't played all of them, but because some of them haven't been out long enough, you know?
I don't know about you guys, but I dig the new Spider-Man game, honestly.
I don't really like it, to be honest.
I like it.
I feel like it was a little overhyped and that graphically it isn't as appealing as the trailers showed. Like, I feel like it was
It's
they
still
misled
like,
you a little bit. See, that's the thing I
I can
loved
agree.
about Red Dead
I
was
still
because
like
the
it, though. It's
trailers
fun to
was
play.
in-game footage. Cherry's laughing about something. Okay, the next one is
It's
for
okay.
best ongoing game. We've got Destiny 2, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, Overwatch, and Rainbow Six Siege. I think Fortnite's got that one.
Sadly.
Yeah,
not even
because
gonna be a question.
it's got the
Fortnite,
biggest
it's earned
player
it.
base of pretty much any
Oh,
game
yeah.
right now.
And they always are adding new stuff to keep it fresh, whether or not that's good stuff, you know, like overpowered turrets or, you know, we know how it is. We've played it. They add stuff that messes the game up, but like they're always adding stuff to keep it new, whether that's on Battle Royale or on Save the World, you know.
Yeah. The next one, which I didn't really read earlier, best game direction: A Way Out, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, or Red Dead Redemption 2.
Well,
I think Red Dead's going to get it, but A Way Out deserves it. Because it did all that without that big of a budget.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Red Dead will
Me and
probably
you,
get
like,
it.
we love the Way Out. That's all we talk about for weeks.
Oh yeah. But that's the
it earned
thing.
it. It was such a
We
good game.
talked about it for weeks. Red Dead will be talked about for a real long time.
Yeah, because more people play it, because more people know the franchise, you know? Which is a shame, even though it could be good. Like, think of all the stuff that people miss out on because they haven't heard of A Way Out, you know? And that's a shame, because it's so good.
Okay, so the next couple ones are really similar, like best narrative, best art direction, best audio design. Red Dead's on all of those. I think Red Dead will get most of those. Because like
No
its
problem.
contenders are other pretty much similar to the Game of the Year ones with just a select few exceptions. The next one that kinda like piques my interest is best performance. We've got A Person from Detroit Become Human, which I haven't played, and then we've got Kratos from God of War, the guy that played their voice acted him. Cassandra from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the guy that played Peter Parker in the Spider-Man movie, and then Roger Clark is Arthur Morgan, Red Dead Redemption 2. I
I didn't
think
expect Zach to pick Red Dead Redemption 2.
what?
Pretty much for everything.
Well, that one really is between Christopher Judge, who played Kratos, and Roger Clark, because both of those performances were really good, but I really think Red Dead's going to get most of these.
That's highly likely.
What else is on here? I'm trying to see best strategy, best sports racing, best multiplayer. Oh! Best multiplayer: Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Destiny 2
No.
Forsaken, Fortnite,
No.
Monster Hunter World, or Sea of Thieves. Multiplayer, Fortnite's probably
I
got
think it should be
that.
A Way Out, honestly.
Ooh,
It's A Way Out on there.
no.
It should
Well,
be.
I can see that, but My Way Out's it's
It
you
wasn't
can
hyped
play
enough.
with two people. Like
yeah.
it wasn't really a
Multiplayer.
multiplayer.
Best mobile game.
Still good though.
Donut County. I don't know what that is. Florence. Fortnite. PUBG Mobile.
Oh,
Or some Game of Thrones game. And that one's really
Probably
between Fortnite and PUBG. And I'm gonna have to say it's Fortnite because, well, Corey was talking the other day. You know, PUBG, they have to have bots to even start games.
Yeah.
yeah, that is true. I don't want mobile games.
See, I don't either. I don't think mobile games and video games are like even remotely in the same category. You know.
They're not related. I mean, some mobile games I enjoy, like, you know, just like small little games, but not anything major.
Best
You
score
can't
/music.
expect to play a game like that on there.
Yeah, best score
I've heard
/music.
a lot.
I really think Red Dead's got it again.
See, I've heard a lot from the God of War soundtrack and not much from the Red Dead. So, like, even though I haven't played any of them, I'd have to vote for God of War
Really now.
because so much time and production went into the music of that game alone. Like, in every way, shape, and form, it deserves it.
Well, that's the same with Red Dead, though. Because I think the only time I heard the same, you know, I've probably played 50 hours of this game. I think the only time I heard the same soundtrack was that one song, what's it called? May I Stand Unshaken or something? It's played in that one mission and then in the last mission for like 20 seconds in the last mission. I think that's the only time I heard the same music twice in that game. It's got a lot of music in it, and it's all that kind of like spaghetti western stuff, and it's really good. But
Yeah.
I haven't heard the God of War soundtrack, so I'm biased either way it goes. But I feel like Red Dead was like so much more hyped than God of War was, and you know, it sold so many copies on the first day, more than I think most of the things on that list. I don't know. I think Red Dead's got to get it. Again, you know, it came out more recently too, so people are still talking about it. You know, if A Way Out came, you know, it came out, you know, in like a week, it might actually stand a chance at getting some more nominations and actually winning some things. But where A Way Out came out so early in the year, people kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
Came out
Which is
last
a
year,
shame
didn't it?
because it's such a good game.
It might have came out last year. When did it come out? No, it came out this year.
I don't know. But it was a good game. Nonetheless, it deserves a lot more praise than it got.
Yes, way more praise than it got. Check time. We're at 46 minutes. We can run over a little bit and have our little talk about microtransactions. I'll let someone else go
We'll
first.
touch on that shortly for just a small amount of time because we're obviously getting kind of low on time, but
We're actually over time already.
yeah, microtransactions in video games, plain and simple, unnecessary.
First off, if you don't know what microtransactions in video games are, it's paying extra money in the game for in-game content. Like GTA has shark cards, or like how Destiny took parts out of the game and you had to pay for it again, or
That's ridiculous.
just having to buy more parts of the game.
I could rant about that for an hour, bro.
But like, as I was saying, unnecessary. There's no reason for it, and it just.
Let's just pay for the game. You bought your game.
See, I understand that. I don't really like paying for DLC and stuff. I'm sorry I interrupted you, Corey. Continue. I got too excited.
I'm pretty much done.
It's just I don't like the idea of having to pay for more of the game. I understand it, but seriously, stuff like that doesn't need to be that expensive because you already more than likely paid $60 for the game, and now you want to come out with a DLC that costs $30. That's a bit outrageous.
That's ridiculous, dude.
That's half of the original game price for something that
It's
should have
money
been in there.
hungry, man.
And most of the time, that DLC is not going to be half of the game.
Oh no.
I just think it's
Couple minutes of
unnecessary.
it's-
time, maybe an hour.
I think it's money hungry. I think it's just
It's dirty.
it's just stupid, bro. Like
But then
I paid for
It's
my
proof that they
game.
don't like their player base. Like they don't care about the consumer.
It's like I paid for my game. Why can't I just have the game? Why do I have to add all of this? Pay for more things. It's just I don't like that.
but now the way GTA does it of being able to buy in-game currency to buy other stuff, that can be done right. I think GTA it was right in the beginning, but where they never adjusted prices because used to in GTA when it first came out you could buy $100 shark card and buy every car in the game. Or at least you could buy you could buy every car in the game. Well, now a $100 shark card can get you one car.
And that's ridiculous. And that's
Not
why
even
so
a
many
shirt.
you people are playing Grand Theft Auto Online anymore. Because people are realizing that Rockstar gave up on it. They don't care. And you can't really blame them.
And one more thing about that, like, they'll add a car that's like $900,000, and then they'll add a car that's $3 million, and that $900,000 car is faster than that $3 million car, and the less amount has more customization and stuff. It just I don't know. It don't make sense. Like how much was that? The X80 Proto, was it like 2.7
Two
or
something,
like that?
2.8,
And then
something like that.
they added like a more expensive car that's trash. There's more cars that's like more cheaper, because I always watch YouTube videos before I buy a car to see if it's half decent, or and see if it's fast. But like some sports cars, because I was looking at sports cars the other day, there's this one car that's like real expensive, like 1 or 2 mil, is like one of the old cars that came out like way before, is faster than that new car. It don't make sense, and all it is looks. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, so like GTA's microtransactions, buying shark cards wouldn't be that bad if they would adjust the prices accordingly. But the thing, in Red Dead, it doesn't have microtransactions, and I think Rockstar has said that they don't want it to. I like that because you have to work for it.
Just like the old
you
days.
can't just. But then again, that's not fair to some people because some people can't play the game as much as others, and they won't be able to have the things they want because they can't sit here and grind a game like that. But I don't know. It's
they just can't
Sucks
get it.
to
Then.
suck. That's what I say.
Yeah,
Sucks
so-
to suck, bro.
a game
Keep
that
playing,
has
you'll eventually get it.
a game that I think everybody here can say has done microtransactions right is Fortnite. Although they are a bit expensive, $25 is too much to give for a skin. But
That's ridiculous.
at
dude.
least
That's
it's
why I hate
cosmetic.
Fortnite.
It doesn't give you any advantage. But I can argue that it does. But it's not supposed
See, I
to.
see Zach's point, but I agree completely that it's way too expensive for a skin. But what they say, like, it doesn't affect whether or not you can enjoy the game if you buy one. You don't have to
It's all
buy a skin
books,
to like the game. But like, they did a great job with microtransactions.
Rocket League's actually like that too.
Rocket League is actually are statistically better than others, and the ones that are better.
You cut out really
usually have
bad.
to buy.
Repeat that first part.
When it comes to Rocket League, statistically, some vehicles are better than others. And the
Really? I
ones
didn't
that
know
are
that.
better- yeah, like the Dominus and the Octane are the two best vehicles in Rocket League. Now the Octane is free, but the Dominus you have to get from opening crates. And to open a crate, you need a key.
Key, which is
get a
$1.99 a
key.
piece.
It's like $1 something a piece to buy a key. So And the chances are you're going to get what you want out of a crate are slim to nothing. So you're
Yeah.
going to spend a good amount of money on a vehicle just to be better than everybody, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I love Rocket League though. Rocket League's a really good game to pass
Rocket
time and
League
stuff.
is fun.
But like, it's stupid that paying more gets you better advantages. That's not right.
No.
We should just name this episode Red Dead. Like, 'cause that's all we've talked about. Or at least all I've talked about.
Not really. Speaking of this episode, I think it's time to wrap it up. It's 2 o'clock. We're all tired.
Yeah, we've still got to
BJ's
edit.
been tired for 7 hours.
We're 55 minutes in. This episode's about to push over an hour.
Yeah.
I
think,
kind of want it to.
I think it's
well,
been a good
BJ,
episode,
would you
though.
like to preview some of your music on this episode?
Yeah.
For sure, if you got...
Maybe that'll make it
Alright.
last an hour. I kind of want to see that 1 hour mark on one of our podcasts. We might actually like it enough to keep it.
I think it's been a good
We might
episode.
not absolutely bash you.
I'm not gonna show the entire song.
Yeah, obviously, just give us like 30 minutes or so. Whoa.
I'm not
30
30
seconds.
seconds.
Give
Oh
us
my
the
God.
last 30 seconds of it. Or you can pick whatever 30 seconds.
Pick somewhere in the middle. 30 seconds.
Any song, I'm just gonna pick one off.
A new one. Unreleased. This is the first, like, we're the first people to hear it.
Alright, first people to hear this ever. Song doesn't even have a title yet.
This is the song with Zach, with his beat.
No, it has a title.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it does.
I've heard it, by the way. So if you want something that...
You want me to pick a different song then? I'll have this one.
Pick
right
something
here.
no one's heard.
Yeah, no one's ever heard this from.
Alright, boys. Mine just
Yeah, mine did too.
ended.
I started another one. Sorry for that. The video clip only records for an hour at a time, so that means we've reached the hour mark.
So it's
Congratulations.
Yeah, so we'll probably have Jerry on again, but in case you don't know, Jerry is actually kind of a part of SMPCAST now. That last episode he listened in and sent us stuff and actually contributed to the episode a little bit. So
Jerry, turn that off.
Oh yeah, that's his thing.
if he wants to do that, he's more than welcome to do that. Which I think he's going to. But yeah, please like the Facebook page, subscribe to all our YouTube channels. Comment any ideas for future episodes below. Any questions you may have. Subscribe to Jerry. His link will be in the description. Subscribe to all of us.
Like the Facebook page.
Like the Facebook page. I think that's about it.
Alright, thank you for watching.